your best to. If you feel like reading it, you can. If you don't, because it's a lot of people. Really.
They talk a lot.
They can, but once we're meditating, they don't. It's just sometimes they, sometimes they do. Just don't get overwhelmed. If it's overwhelmed, just kind of ignore it.
Are there a lot of trolls on TikTok?
Not as much, because I have moderators on there now who will just, but if they don't, I just kind of time them out. And
I like Twitch.
yeah, but it's good because
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of inspiration. Very good. Oh, see, somebody's on. Big Brooklyn came from a lot of people coming to YouTube from TikTok because it's better quality on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, TikTok's like not the greatest quality on anything.
Huh. It's weird for being one of the biggest apps. I guess they're pretty new. Their infrastructure is probably pretty.
Okay, go live. Music, go live. And we'll just.
Such a big pie.
Oh, the red one?
Just feels big. So deep. So sturdy.
Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. My first teapot.
Test 1, 2, test.
Can you lift your,
Yep.
Yeah, thanks. Alright, you're good.
So you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, or you're gonna come up with other symbols?
I'll just tell you. Yeah, I guess number 1 we did dum dum, and then 2 is dum 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 dum. I think 3 and 4 is just I'll let you choose. I'll just do like 3 or 4.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Cause whatever. And then the randomness. I guess I'll use like the side flute signal for just.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds
Or
good.
it could just be whatever, like whatever, like the randomness signal.
Okay.
Could be this random. 1. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Well, 3 and 4, because if you're saying this is 3 and 4, and if you're saying this is random.
Well, how about this? I think we can just group. 1 and 2 it's the same style. 3
Okay.
and 4 is the same style.
Okay.
Random could be this, which is the
You're gonna
Japanese.
go like
yeah, I'll let you
earlier
know
like
Japanese
this?
style is random.
Okay.
And then if I feel something, I'll just talk to you, and and then eventually we'll just sometimes just saying it like, hey, just like
Okay.
I think might be the easiest way because it's just us and I guess whoever's on here. 159 people. It's all good. It's just God.
Have your headphones. More tea?
But the cool part is that that's the leader. You know what I mean? The drum is the leader
Right.
in all these. So one.
That's what's hard about it, is that y'all are leading, and so I'm having to basically
Like
be in my
intuitively.
head. It's not intuitive. I'm literally having to take that and into a beat,
Yeah.
and that's it's a challenge sometimes when there's no obvious rhythm when it's like a more of a windy.
Yeah.
So us actually deciding on
Some
beats is
form.
going to help a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just leave this near, cause let's say like I'll try to do everything like show.
Here, yeah, hold on. You do this
Yeah, no,
one.
I'll leave it here. Leave it.
Yeah.
Here. Like I'm gonna try to do everything non-verbal first, so that we can develop more non-verbal. And if you're not getting the message, then I'll just like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Hola.
I mean, either way, if y'all are on a rhythm, I will just naturally be in a rhythm with y'all.
Yeah.
It's when you guys are
Break.
in a
When
a
we chill.
non-linear rhythm, that's when I have to we either have to already know, like have signals,
Yeah.
or I have to be like extra on point, or like really listening, and yeah.
And you know this means slow. Faster. Cause sometimes like we do shift rhythm and we need to like slow it down, and I think to slow. Hola everybody, welcoming in. Who's there? Big Brooklyn.
Big B.
Big B. Thank you for getting on the mic with me in the past. Victoria Yvonne is here. I hope you're ready for some music. We have Brother Sean, the famous father. And we have Emily Richardson. And Brother Charles here. And on the drums, developing where we can be the all is one energy. And of course, I'm Brother Tanet, as usual, here doing the best we can to hold it down for H-Town. Breathing in, be aware that you're breathing in. Slowly breathing out. Welcoming you to a sound immersion journey where we relax together. Of course, Brother Sean is practicing the handpan. We have Sister Emily on the crystal singing bowls and other tools. Brother Charles here is on the drums and the rhythm, and I'm on the flutes and other woodwind instrument. And today we're burning the copal, frankincense, and Mayan gold and white copal. Let us know how the audio is. We're going all night? No. We're not playing all night, okay. Maybe in the future. Yeah. So we're just gonna find our flow and have a good time with music. And if something on your heart comes up, you can express it. Some people express that they're emotional or crying. It's okay. Maybe you feel peace. You feel love. Some people feel depressed. It's okay. Some people miss their grandma. It's okay to feel what you feel. Do you have any place for the classes? The class is happening right now. If you just pay attention to what we're doing and how we're doing it, you're gonna be a good practitioner.
I said, love your damn self.
Thank you, everybody. Sacred activations. Thank you for being here, everybody.
It's almost like we're on an exploration and we stumble upon treasure and we're just at the tip of the diamond. And I'm like, ooh, let's explore that. And once we're like, oh, there's no more treasure, move on. Because the treasure is more about the journey to the destination, right? And that's what we're doing with music. So it's not what actually on to the next. That's why it's fun because you don't know what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna keep going. Some people have really good headphones, but some people have really, they're just speaker on their phone, so that's why it's a different experience.
Or keep the mic
And that's just on
distance.
YouTube and Twitch, which is coming up OBS, which is probably amped up a little bit.
Your mic is peaking.
Yes.
It's called a halusi. Hulusi. Breathing in, be aware that you're breathing in. Breathing out, be aware that you're breathing out. Relaxing your body, your facial muscles, welcoming you to the Mystic Village and the Mystic Villagers, Brother Sean, Sister Emily, Brother Charles, Brother Tanet here, bringing you the sound journey vibes. And today, I want you to ask them some questions, okay? Which means I want y'all to get to know the Mystic Villagers, which is my brothers and sisters here, about whatever you want, as long as it's not too crazy, you know what I'm saying? Just gotta say that part because, you know, you don't say that. You know. Of course, we've been together for a while, almost 3 years, but we've been knowing each other I've been knowing Sean for what, long time, 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Turning it up, check, 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 check. What did you feel today? Welcoming everybody, Sushi Monster, Namanashi. What did you experience? Because we play all the time. We play every Sunday. Devotion, and they've been showing up with me every Sunday, which is a very what brought them to Buddhism? Yeah. However they want to answer is your call, and just bring the mic up and to your mouth. It's all good. Yeah.
Twist as well.
Yeah, you can. I've muted it. Okay.
For me,
or if even they're Buddhists, because we never took, you know.
I mean, if I were to say that I am anything, I guess it would be that I try to follow that path that's laid out by, you know, thousands of people before me, and who I feel like have figured something out, that there is something more to life than just money, material things,
employee,
science, whatever it may be that you like believe in. For me, I was super put off by religion from a young age because of Christianity and how I didn't relate with it. I turned to science at the age of 14, I want to say. I stopped really believing in Christianity and really started going down that scientific path. And it wasn't
science, yeah.
Mostly just science.
Just science, science.
I would say I was, atheist for a little while, then agnostic, to where I believed in something. I just didn't know what, because I knew there had to be something. It's just I think it's pretty self-involved to believe that there's nothing outside of what we know, right? Because who knows? But to believe that science knows everything is just crazy and absurd.
Yes.
So I was on that path for roughly about 20 years, in terms of, not really believing in anything but science and what I could prove, what I could know, and what has been proven. And then a serious medical issue and mental health issue came along due to stress and just life happening to me, and doing it at a very hardcore pace is what I would describe it as. That led to complications with my health, deteriorating at a young age of 32, 33. I started dying, essentially. My body started shutting down. Doctors didn't know what was wrong with me, and then led me to meditation. Meditation led me to Buddhism, and then really just following the entire path and just continuing down oh yes, life is suffering. There is a way to...
You looked into Dr. K also, which he did. A lot of what he teaches is straight Buddhism, but, it's
he did a lot of Hinduism, Buddhism, but I mean, it's the same, very similar principles for sure. So that's my path to Buddhism, I suppose. And
Buddhism.
Yes, Buddhism, quote unquote.
Buddhism, the practice, and less of religiosity, but
that's what I really liked about it, because I'd studied religions before, taken different religious classes in college, and I guess I wasn't really into it at the time, because I'm this is all bull. I lumped it all together, right? I'm this is all bull. And then I really started to look at Buddhism from a different light, because I actually wanted to learn about something, instead of just being in a class. But the thing that really drew it to me was it's not necessarily like
Just believe.
like a history, like a past, like this happened, but it's more like a guideline to live, and like just like a set of like basic principles of suggestions, I suppose, about like how you should live. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like super hard rules and like history and all this kind of stuff, and there is some of that, but it just made a lot more sense to me.
How about Sister Emily? If you feel like answering the question, what led you to Buddhism?
I'm not Buddhist. A lot like Brother Sean, I grew up super religious with Pentecostal religion as my background. So I came from a very young age of being sheltered and saw a lot of closed-minded religion, I guess you could say, that kind of made me stray away from Christianity and from religion, because I saw a lot of negative aspects of it. But I think at the end of the day, I heard a lot of talk. I heard a lot of preaching, but I didn't see the actions followed by that talk.
Very hypocritical.
Very hypocritical. So it kind of made me stray away from that religion at an early age once my parents got a divorce, and my mom was like, we're not going to be Pentecostal anymore, because it took the Bible very literal from the Old Testament. Like, women couldn't wear pants, we couldn't wear makeup, we couldn't watch TV. I practiced the piano at a very young age, and you couldn't listen to the radio. So it was very sheltered. So out of coming from that sheltered life, I kind of went the opposite route and wanted to experience all the things, which led me to a very dark path, kind of living
Lustful.
in hell, lustful, a lot of desire, a lot of experiencing different things, because I was searching, and I was searching for something outside of myself, which brought me to a lot of near-death experiences. And I tried many different things with substances, with looking for love outside of myself, and that led me to my breaking point, to the bottom line, knowing that if I didn't change something within me, then I might not continue to live much longer, which led me to meditation. I remember my mom going through her second divorce, and she practiced meditation, and that was the one thing that helped her. So I was like, well, if it worked for her, if it's working for so many people, then maybe it'll do something for me.
Shout out to your mom.
Shout out to my mom and my grandma. And
That's a big deal.
yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm Buddhist. I would say I'm more so spiritual. I like to practice the energy of love. I like to learn from different teachers, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Krishna, all the different teachers that we have. And I do believe there are things to learn from all religions and not just one. And knowing where that religion comes from, at the end of the day, is the energy of love. And I do believe in karma. I do believe in samsara. I do believe in suffering. I do believe in Christianity, all the things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's more so spiritual for me than religious.
All is one.
She stay open.
Even the religions.
How about our brother Charles? However you want to answer, what led you to Buddhism?
So I do consider myself Buddhist. And I mean, to be Buddhist, all you have to do is take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha and what he represents, basically, that there is a consciousness that we're connected to. There's a consciousness, a cosmic consciousness of creation. It's not something that happened in the past. It's happening right now. Creation is still happening right now. It's always happening. The Sangha, or the Dharma, which is more like your obligations. You're born on earth. You're in a family, in a community, in a city, in a tradition, and you have different obligations that, being a good citizen, being a good brother, being a good
father,
mother, just whatever your circumstances are, there's a right response in whatever situation you find yourself. That's the Dharma. And then the Sangha, which is a spiritual community where you can keep each other accountable. So if you take refuge in those three things, you're Buddhist. So I do identify as that, and what led me to Buddhism, I'm a huge nerd, and I would there was a website called Stumble Upon, and it was before Reddit, so you would decide, like, these are the different categories of topics that I'm interested in. You press the button, and like a lottery system, it would give you a website. And so I started to see, this is 20 years ago, I started to see, like conspiracy theories, and so that led me to really question reality, society, the things that I thought I knew, the things that I thought weren't real. I gave them another look, and part of that led me to religion and spirituality. I started to study the ancient texts and started to realize how much sense they made, and I started to practice meditation and get some very real experiences of, there's a whole nother dimension here that we can tap into, dimension of love, dimension of awareness, sensations in our body. Our heart is always beating. Our blood is pumping at, miles per hour. There's so much happening inside of us that we're not even aware of. So that's meditation has shown me that, yeah, there actually is something to this spirituality stuff.
Beautiful. And I'm the same. That's why we're together. Like I practice Buddhism, but not religiously. It's more about something within, because in the beginning you bow to the statue thinking you're worshipping Siddhartha, but the Buddha nature is like the Christ consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, and to connect to that nature is through devotion. And to practice, like when we're doing sound healing and we're feeling peaceful, because we're feeling peace within. And when we're doing sound healing and it's coming out noisy, it means maybe inside doesn't have peace. And that's why it's a beautiful art form, because we can sense it in each other. Like, what did they loot last night? Ooh, oh, is he even in his head because his mom's in town? Or ooh, and so because you can't hide from the energy. That's the beautiful part. But if you don't pay attention, you can't even see the energy. But if you stay still, the energy starts communicating with you without the mind, which is where you let it go and you're with that presence. Somebody asked, how did we meet? I met Charles first, actually. I don't know, many years ago. Ecstatic dance, right? Sister Autumn, you were hanging around there, and that's before I decided I'm gonna start little groups. And I guess you just went to ecstatic dance, which is like meditation dance, you can say. And then we just started, we talked and we drank tea together. And I think we're on the same page because you practice meditation. I saw your devotion in meditation, which many people didn't have. So we gathered a lot of people who meditated. Some people were more closed-minded Zen meditators, but everybody did some sort of meditation, and we did meditate together and did sound healing together and shared a lot of knowledge together. I remember we talked a lot of knowledge, and we shared what was on our heart and asked deep questions, and people would come up with random questions, and we would just sit there for hours. And sober, by the way, unless you count the tea. And anything else that I miss? yeah, a lot of open-hearted discussion that led us to him, to Brother Charles joining us, because it's karma, right? When you have good time together and they return, it's not by accident. It's like there's a reason why people return, or right. How did we meet, Sister Emily?
I was on my meditation journey, and I had been meditating consistently by myself for about 8 months during the pandemic, whenever that started. And during my meditations, I had done a lot of self-healing and looking deep inside of myself and journaling and doing a lot of shadow work and all the things. And I was searching for a spiritual community with other like-minded individuals that I could be with in person, because I was a part of online communities, which I was paying $111.11 for, crystal healing and all that.
Literally, like that's the
Literally,
number.
yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
I told you, man.
And it served its purpose, but I was looking for something a little bit more deeper, and just I was looking for that community, and I knew it was out there, and I was talking to Brother Jonathan that we were doing the Lucia light meditation.
Yeah.
So it's like this light on this
It's
pyramid.
like a psychedelic light
Oh, for
experience.
sure.
Yeah.
But I was sober during it, but they probably weren't. Or not they, but some people probably weren't.
Most people.
And we were meditating one night, and I brought my singing bowl, because I had purchased one crystal singing bowl. And we were playing with it, while people were under the light. And I asked him, I was like, there has to be crystal bowl meditations outside. Like, where is that? And he's like, I don't know. That's a good question. Literally a week later, he sends me your Facebook information. And I went out to the park October 2020, and
Halloween.
It was right after I moved from my 4-bedroom home, minimalized, and moved into a 1-bedroom apartment.
So crazy, you had a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah, with my animals.
Damn.
Yeah, but it led me to my Sangha, my spiritual community, which I'm very grateful for, and a lot of healing and transformation has happened. So thank you for that.
And she's been pushing, she's sharp, so that, it's good, because why? You can, you get emotional, but you push through. And it's really hard to find people who, even though they're emotional, they push through. So we got warrior women here. Xena.
Xena, the warrior
That's
princess.
why that's why we call her the queen.
The queen.
And the king now. Even a cat knows. Okay. How about Brother Sean? What's our story, if you want to share? Which we told many freaking times.
I found you on twitch.tv/Cosmic Unwind. I don't know specifically how.
Yeah.
I think I was searching for meditation in the search bar.
Yeah.
And maybe you had that like tag.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It was either that or just scrolling ASMR, but I'm pretty sure I was searching for meditation. Yeah. And that was in April of 2019, and I just followed you along on Twitch until December, or no, it was, I want to say like November of 2020. I'd known you for a while. I'd gotten many card readings from you, become close through the community, if you can do so, right? Like really following. And then I'd always had this thought of like, I hate my corporate job. I have, this passion that I really want to pursue. And then I asked you, should you, like already knowing that like the right answer was like, of course you should
follow your
you idiot.
dreams.
Yeah. But like getting card readings, and I think I asked you that probably like 2 or 3 different card readings throughout the year.
Many.
Yeah. And every time I was like, yeah, of course. But eventually I said, okay. And I did end up quitting my corporate job in Illinois, and now have been living on the road, technically here in Houston, for about like a year and a half out of the last 3 years, I want to say, because we come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I decided to basically move down here to Houston and start this meditation journey with you. The first thing I wanted to do when we sold our house, bought this RV, I was like, okay, we have to go to Houston, because we were like trying to plan our route. Like, we didn't have any idea we were going to do any of this at the time. And I was just going to follow my dreams, and we were going to travel the country for, X amount of years. And I was like, okay, but one of the first things we have to do is go to Houston, and I have to meditate with this guy under this tree, because I would watch your live streams. And Joel's like, all right, whatever.
That's his wife, by the way.
So we came down. We just showed up at the park randomly one Sunday. I didn't tell you I was coming. And ever since that, like month and a half long stay down here in Houston, we left, come back, left, come back, left. Now we're here pretty much permanently, because I really don't want to.
You had your vacation time, and then eventually you needed to like
ground.
For
sure,
and
yeah.
so
I mean, we needed that like exploration break from the mega
life.
grind of corporate grind and like everything else that I was doing at the time, and then just to actually settle down and like figure out myself, figure out how I want to give back.
So on every stream, welcoming everybody, Kayla, Japan, thank you for all the blessings. Every stream we teach people love your damn self. I think it's appropriate for y'all to share the way you practice loving yourself, because many people, how do you love your damn self? And even though I tell, but it's good to come to share different perspective from other practitioners, and it's a beautiful thing to know that I'm not just randomly saying stuff. Like so let's start with Brother Charles. Okay, how do you practice loving yourself? Because a lot of people have no idea what that even looks like. In your way. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you the super nerd technical way. I mean, I've always liked the chakra system as a way for framing sort of we're multi-dimensional beings, we're multifaceted beings, and so the way that I've approached, I guess, thriving, how do I make this one thrive? It's, I don't want to get too woo-woo, but it's really,
man.
We have a hierarchy of needs, right? We gotta live, we gotta eat, we gotta have friends, we have to have a purpose, and there's ways of approaching those things in unhealthy ways, and then there's ways to approach those things in more healthy, balanced ways. So I try to be very purposeful and intentional with how I meet my needs, and what that looks like right now is taking care of my physical fitness, taking care of my mental fitness. What do I allow in my body? What do I allow in my mind? What are the types of entertainment? What am I consuming? Who are the people I'm around? What are the environments I put myself in? And meditation, emotional health, spiritual health. Am I giving back? How do I show up in my community? How do I hold presence for myself? How do I have compassion for myself when I don't do my best? Because our best is changing every day. Maybe sometimes my best is just laying in bed and reading a book. Maybe sometimes my best is, working really hard at Flipside and, offering service. So I would say for anyone who's wanting a more defined framework to look into the chakra system, what those represent, because it has a really good framework for the different aspects of what it means to be a human.
And when you first began to love yourself, in the beginning we were really bad at it. Let's like really sad, depressed, or lonely. What was a huge practice that you do, or what did you do to get you closer to happiness?
You said in the beginning?
Yeah, like in the beginning when you first were like really committed yourself more before you committed yourself to meditation.
and became more like spiritual, what was the catalyst or the thing, the action or practice that got you to connect with yourself more?
For me, it was learning and following my curiosity, the things that enlivened me, enlivened my mind. I allowed myself to just dive deep and learn, and that looked like learning about the world we're in, seeking truth. That's what excited me, and that eventually brought me to meditation and meditative practices. So I would say follow your curiosity, whatever that looks like.
Do what turns you on, but not like that. Okay, how about Sister Emily? How do you practice loving yourself?
With meditation, it all starts inside. That happiness and loving myself, with knowing and with really feeling that love and that happiness and that joy that we already have within. In the past, I relied on having that love from others. I thought that I needed love from others to fill my cup and to make myself feel loved. But whenever I began going deep in meditation and really discovering like the deep rooted aspects within myself, and seeing what triggered me, seeing why I would react the way that I would, really getting to the core root of the reasoning why within me, and really working on certain things that had happened in my past, certain aspects within myself that were kind of holding me down for a little while. Like I would be sad about certain things, or certain things would anger me, and really getting to the reason why and really looking at that allowed me to eventually bring that up to the surface, because some of that deep emotion or deep trauma that has happened to us in the past, whenever we bring that up to the surface, it allows us to look at it and really begin to heal ourselves. And that involves healing our emotional, and then also healing our body, because we're storing trauma within our body. And whenever we begin to heal and forgive other people in our lives, rather, whether it's a bully or our grandma or our father, or just certain people that exes, ex-husband, ex-boyfriends, ex-friends, it allows us to begin to forgive fully with our hearts, and that allows us to forgive ourselves, and then that allows us to eventually just let it go, and we begin to feel lighter and be a more positive, true person within ourselves, rather than these things that happened to us. They happened for us, and we're able to kind of transmute that energy. But I really listen to my body and my mind and my emotions, and I give myself what I need. Sometimes we might need to set boundaries with other people, but we can do so in a loving way and with compassion. Sometimes we need to go to Gangnam Spa. Sometimes we need to be a little bit more fierce with our workouts. Sometimes we need to do yoga. Sometimes we need to run. Sometimes we need to go for walks. So really just listening to what I need in that moment and giving it to myself. And out of a lot of that working, that inner work, we're able to serve others. Like once we begin to find that peace and that happiness and that joy within, you just want to begin to share that with others. Like, look at this treasure that I found, and which brought me to sound healing and streaming as well. Like once you discover like the diamond within, you just want others to find their diamond within themselves.
What about when you first started and you were a beginner practitioner? would you say that meditation is still the key to loving yourself in your practice? Like,
And journaling was huge for me.
can you expand on the journaling part? Because the more our brothers and sisters know different tools, because I also did journaling in the past. Why is journaling a big part of your practice? Maybe in the beginning, and sometimes do you do it as much now?
Not as much. I would say I probably journal. I can go like a month or so without journaling, and then all of a sudden, like, I'll journal a few times a week. You know, it really depends on what I have going on inside. I began journaling because I had so much happening within my mind, so much happening within myself, so many emotions that would come out. I didn't know how to process them because there was just like so much happening here.
And you're intense at thinking.
Yeah, because that's what I do for my job. Like, I'm very like fierce at what I do. But whenever I'm able to just give everything to the paper, it's like I'm releasing my thoughts, I'm releasing my emotions onto this paper. And sometimes, you know, it just, in the beginning I had to really think about what I was writing, but as I continued, it would just pour out on paper. Yeah. And certain things that I had forgot about, or certain things that I didn't even know I was holding within, it just expressed itself out on paper. And it's a ritual that we can do for ourselves to just release. It was a form of release for me. And then if there's certain things that I didn't like that I wrote, the act of burning that piece of paper, you're like releasing all of that, and you're able to transmute that. I hadn't talked to my dad for 3 years, you know, and out of this meditation work, I was finally able to talk to my dad and begin to build a relationship back with him. And the same with my grandmother. I hadn't talked to her for 20 years or something. And I was able to finally reconnect with her too. It's different practices really for me.
And so a lot of miracles happen. It's just, it keeps happening to where, like, this is why there's a time and place to share our miracles, because it inspires others. Like, she didn't talk to her father for 3 years. That's a big deal. And for him to like, hello.
And now we're close. We talk, you know, multiple times a week. And
so know that this is not just woo-woo stuff where we're just playing bowls. There's the art form that leads to deeper healing than just us meditating and being cute and like, hey, we play bowls. Right? And let me see. What about a mother who tells you to leave them alone? But
I mean, for me, you kind of have to see where your mother is coming from. And I realized with my grandmother, whenever she abandoned me and my brother, I was like 8 years old. My brother was maybe 4 or something. So I was a little bit older, maybe 12. And I was so hurt by the act of my grandmother that she told us that we couldn't be with her anymore. And she was bringing me back to my mom. And then I don't talk to her for 20 years. So I felt super abandoned by my grandmother. But later, I was talking to my dad after not talking to him for 3 years. And I learned that
there's a pattern.
There's a pattern. And seeing where that pattern comes from, and learning from my dad about what my grandmother went through, and how her mom and dad had abandoned her at the age of 14. It was so much worse of what she did to me and what she had done to her. And seeing the reason and the pattern within that karma of your family, we're doing the best we know how. We learned that action from our parents or from the people that raised us. They're not doing it to us. They're doing the best that they know. And sometimes we have to give our family time. Like, I even did a meditation on my grandmother before I began talking to her. And I did a forgiveness meditation with my grandmother. And you're able to see the way that energy works eventually. You know, whenever you do come from a sense of compassion and a sense of grace rather than a feeling of hurt, even though it hurts. And that's a good time to release that. Like, if you're feeling a certain sadness or emptiness within yourself, all you got is you at the end of the day. So give yourself back that love that your mother, that your grandfather, that your grandmother didn't give you. You can give yourself back that love that you're lacking from them.
And that's why the motto, love your damn self, is the core. It's just, it's so important. That's why we say it every freaking stream, because so many people don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Your grandma was abandoned for maybe 40 to 60 years, and you just got half of that number.
Mm-hmm.
And then and now you're like, wait, I can break that cycle.
But the thing is it lessens over time. Like, I feel like each generation, we don't get it as bad as our parents got it.
For sure.
You know, so seeing what they really went through, and
But
whenever
then
we know
their
the
parents,
facts, whenever we come to that truth, because we might not know our parents' deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah.
Because they hold it so close to their heart. They don't want to see, they don't want their children to see how hurt they are
Yeah.
For sure.
from their
Especially
experiences.
especially their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to share that.
And that's why it's so beautiful when we like the benefits of loving yourself and healing yourself is that it goes to our lineage. Like your grandma, your parents heal first, and then your grandma heals, which is like so beautiful, because your cup overflows as you learn to like love yourself deeply, and then the energy goes back to, and sometimes it just takes time. Takes time. It's
Yeah.
not just gonna happen instantly, like Sister Aura, right? It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna. It might not happen in the first year.
Yeah.
Because you need to work on yourself first. Somebody was asking about marriage.
Yeah, Kali Yoga Girl. Those who
Who are
are
married.
married, how do you navigate being in different places on the path? Yeah, that's a good one. That's tough.
for you too.
Yeah, he's married. I'm married.
Yeah.
And
Been married for 13 years or so.
maybe one more.
And we do have a child together. Yeah, we still are, I suppose, on different paths, but together, right?
I'm impressed at how far. Like, she's a fighter, so
For sure.
I'm happy to see her doing good, man. Like, I'm proud of her.
Quiet savage in terms of like being able to put up with a lot of my
Well,
weirdness in the beginning, right? Because like I was like, we're going down this path.
Well, look,
Like, this is what
he
we're
was
doing.
watching that bald guy talk,
Yeah.
and then he like, and she didn't care, and then she like checked out this guy, and she still wasn't convinced, but she was still about that cause because y'all are a package deal,
For
so
sure,
that's
yeah.
impressive.
We're very, very committed to each other. We have a deep love and passion for each other, and that's never going to change.
And y'all have very good communication.
We do now, yeah. We
Before
didn't at
it
the
wasn't,
beginning.
yeah.
It wasn't the greatest. We talked about this last weekend, but how do we navigate being in different places on the path? Communication, obviously, is definitely going to be up there on that list. But besides the obvious, I would say being empathetic. Just like you don't know where your parents are coming from. A lot of times you don't know like how far your spouse wants to go down the path, or even
Or not.
yeah, exactly. Or some of the trauma that they went through, 'cause sometimes they don't let it all out. But just being super empathetic and not pushing, right? Like doing your best to show them rather than to tell them is what I really figured out. Like that's probably the most important thing that we learned with each other, especially me, because I have been farther down like this spiritual path, or so at least I was for a while. To where she didn't really believe in meditation. She was like, whatever, I'm not going to do that type of deal. But she would like say that she's going to, all this crap.
You started developing before her.
For sure, because out of necessity, right? Because I was dying. Like she didn't need to. Like I needed it without a doubt. And that's what made me really believe in it and like go deep. But not pushing her, because I tried to like push her, like you have to do it, you have to do this, you know, like you have to do it this way, that way, etc. And then really just leading by example, as opposed to trying to lead by telling or lead by shaping her into something that, you know, I thought she should do. So just doing the things that I wanted her to do, like being more kind, listening more, not talking, like talking over her, meditating really religiously, like specific time, specific place. And, you know, she'd say she's having these problems. So I was like, well, I mean, I used to as well, but this is what I do now. And then she's like, I'm out of nowhere, she just starts meditating every
Like,
morning.
oh, it works.
Out of nowhere, she like I didn't have to tell her, she just started doing it on her own. But yeah, it's not easy by any means, but if you are patient and empathetic and try to understand what they're going through and not necessarily think about your own needs first, it's definitely one of the best ways to do it.
For me, being married, one of the things the master taught me was that when somebody shows you who they are, believe it. I wanted her to be spiritual, my wife, like, and be like on the same page, but I realized the master taught me she doesn't need to be on the same page as you. It's not about her. The spiritual path is more about you and yourself, and she happens to have karma with you, or else you would have been a Buddhist monk and be completely single, celibate, and completely not going to weird events, and just help. And so and so I realized I just need, in the beginning, you just love them where they are. You don't need them to be spiritual, because everything's already spiritual. Everyone's on a spiritual journey already. She doesn't need to be a sound healer, and once I realized that, it made us have a great, a deeper connection. Of course, communication is a huge thing. Deep vulnerability. Talk about the difficult things now instead of wait for them to come up. And knowing your principles. I put God first, family, community, and then girlfriend. When you marry her, that girlfriend becomes after your parents. Like, there's a principle to it, right? So if there's a priority to it, so that I don't have to think about it, like what's next. And so if there's a time for me to serve God, which is follow your own heart, that's number one. My heart told me this lifetime I want to get married, or I want a partner. I didn't, right? But God told me to marry. And then and speak in the first year that I dated Grace, she did not love herself at all. She would cry every time I tell her, I love myself first, family second, community is third, and you're number 4. And she would like cry for a whole year, thought I didn't love her. But instead I told her, look, I love you, I know you're crying and all. And the first time she cried, I fell for it, because I'm like, what the heck? And the second time I was like, wait a minute, God's showing me some dots here. I see a pattern. When she uses the tears, because that's what it probably was passed down, right? She uses tears as a tool to block knowledge, wisdom, and truth. And I did not. I was like, And so instead, as she was crying, I would sit there with her and say, look, I love you, but I love myself even more. And then my parents, so I kept repeating it, and then eventually she realized, oh, he does love me. He just loves himself more, and God, right? Because it's not your ego, it's more about following your heart. And as I kept standing on my principles, she also learned these principles. So she put herself first, and then everything else, of course the community part, her principles are different. But the number one thing, love your damn self. And I was not gonna go forward with her until she loved herself, and eventually she stopped crying. Until the next lessons, which is more communications and I just kind of right? Because if you have principles that you don't truly believe, you're gonna fall every time. Like, your partner will test your principles. Like, oh, you love your damn self, huh? Let me try to do this and that, or I'm gonna there's tears that come out to try to get you to sway from the principles. And I told her, look, we're not texting all day. We're just gonna text once a day, or I'm gonna call you once a day during when we were dating, because I'm living my life. I'm not here to send cute pictures and text throughout the day. At the end of the day, we're gonna call one time, and that's it. Don't be texting me. We're not trying to. I don't need that cute high school BS. Okay. And so eventually, because when she felt I had principles, she respected me even more. I'm not I'm not here to be, just like high school relationship. I want to develop something deeper with principles. And after about 2 years of being with her, I realized, wow, she can deal with this stuff. That's respect, because it's a lot to deal with. Because I have a deep principles, you know, like we ain't doing all that, and she just kept respecting it and she kept growing. And every time she would come thank me later, I know that I cry and all this, but you have taught me to love myself. And she would come thank me, but it would be like once a year or twice a year that it randomly happens, but not all the time, because it's real. I'm not looking for her to say it all the time, but I'm just grateful that she does give some positive response to it, but it's genuine. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but know your principles and stick to them, because sometimes our emotion, it just wants what our ego just wants, what it wants, but it's not even sure where happiness come from. And let's go to last one. What was the question before? How do you love yourself? How do you maintain your happiness, Brother Sean?
For me, 2 pillars: physical exercise and meditation, for sure. Those are the core.
Exercise and meditation.
Yeah, and it always starts with, like, I've been on a cycle of, like Charles said, there's different levels of loving yourself, right? And it's whatever your best is at that time. And sometimes my best really takes a dive, and sometimes it's really high. But what always brings me out of that dive is just physical exercise and really beating my body down, so that I start to want and crave meditation, and then want and crave spiritual connection. And that, for me, like, it's always been physical, like, for whatever reason. Me loving myself means working out heavily and pushing it. What I've figured out is pushing it to the, like, not necessarily the limit with weightlifting, but like running, like just pushing it super hard, going almost crazy with it, to the point where I feel like I'm, overdoing it to a certain extent, but like really finding out my boundaries and my limits, and pushing past those limits, because I know that then more is possible than I really could imagine, which is the same thing in life and spirituality. Like, what I know and what is possible are 2 very distant things. So pushing yourself really helps me figure out that I need more meditation. I need more of these things. But then, once I start really getting on the good path, it's a consistent meditation routine that connects me to God and connects me to myself. And then doing some journaling, I figured that out, within the past year or so. That really helps as well. Community is one way in which I need it. That's why we're stationary here in Houston. Otherwise, we'd probably still be traveling if it wasn't for community here. Eating right, working out, physically demanding stuff, and trying to be at your peak performance for your job and stuff like that. Then
you studied the Atomic Habit, that book, quite heavily, which reminds
I was just thinking about rereading that, actually.
Which reminds you to keep improving yourself 1%.
1% a day, for sure.
Yeah. And
it leads to a large overall improvement.
And I think you've been really consistent with that concept in your life, in like even the handpan to like your workout and just your trading, right? All these things.
Yeah, continuously just growing and grinding. And again, sometimes at best, you're not going to get that 1%. Ideally you would, but it's more of a, curvy path up. Sometimes you're going to lose a few percent. Sometimes you're going to gain a lot of percentages. But yeah, overall averaging that 1% a day is the idea. And focusing on routine. That's another big thing for me, is like routine. Is if I can stick to like a steady routine that I really need, that leads me to discipline, which equals consistency, which then equals happiness for me anyways.
Dang, he's got equations down, right?
Yeah. But yeah, discipline is something that's very important for me, because I lack that throughout a lot of my life.
Yeah. And I guess for me, it's devotion. I love this stuff, It's doing what you love, turning what you love into your life, and don't always need to make money from it. Like, I love photography, and I still practice it on the side, and I enjoy taking photos of other people and giving them their phone back.
than using my own phone, because I think I used to be a wedding videographer, and that kind of like, I don't like to be responsible for images anymore. But I'll give you a dope photo with your phone,
For
you know,
sure.
because I'm like, dude, I don't even want to edit your stuff. Community, and I love authentic people. Golly, I love genuine. I love, like, I'm happy with this, you know, because it's really hard to find genuine, consistent people. We're like family at this point. And it's family not just because we hang out, but we practice and we have this same devotion, and we're focused together. And it's more like a bodhisattva group, right? We practice heavily together, and it's really difficult to find others who are like, yep, we're going to do a 3-hour sound bath. Wait, what? And you're not going to get paid. Like, what? You're going to come every Sunday and serve humanity.
But I want to watch football.
I want to watch football. Let's go eat wings. Or, dang, he don't even eat meat. Or whatever, right? It's, I'm just grateful to be around good energy. Because it fills you. And some days when you're empty, somebody's going to fill Sean. Some days Jill's down. Some days I'm down. Because we're human. And community is so powerful if you find your own inner community, which is meditation and just feeling connection on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis through breathing. So on a day-to-day basis, I look into the sky, and I like to look into the sky and just feel connection, just breathe. And then when I'm walking, I hear the trees, I see the squirrel, and when I see an animal dead on the street, I pray for it, because it makes me feel grateful for this process called life, because eventually I'm going to be like that, you know?
You're going to be the animal on the
Yeah,
street.
eventually I'm going to be the animal on the street, you know? And I'm just remembering that life is not just buying stuff. It's not just hanging out. There's something deeper, and that something deep is within. And then being able to share that is so beautiful. So teaching, I think, teaching people, it's so... teaching me was very hard, because I in the past, I thought I was the dumbest person ever. And I'm like, dude, if my dumb A could learn spirituality and happiness, anybody could. And that's why I became aggressive, or I became really determined to help people, because man, if me, like a college dropout and like a ABCD honor roll, you know, like if I could summer school student and last quarter of my high school, and you know, the lowest SAT, if I could figure happiness out, freaking anyone could. And that's why my willpower, I mean, it's not mine, it's the love within became passionate, because I just thought, wow, if happiness is possible for me, the whole world is possible. And I'm just grateful. I think, and the last part is gratitude. I'm just so deeply grateful because I'm alive. There's a time, I remember the first time I realized I was ungrateful. I didn't know I could deeply be grateful for my life. And every day I wake up and I just, like, I'm always doing this to people because it's like how I live my life. I'm bowing to people. I bow to animals. Like today I tried to help the turtle because I was like, man, why are you doing in the middle of the road? I almost ran you over. And so I moved it, because your heart, when you're grateful for life, so you want to protect it. When I see people sad and depressed, I want to help protect that. When I see the children unhappy, it bugs me. And when I see my brothers and sisters emotion unstable, I'm like, hey, God, universe. That's why I'm really quietly emotional, that what we're doing here is so freaking, like, it's a miracle. Like for us to be here, like how far we've gone, and Brother Charles joining, and Sister Jill healing, and Evie being, and my Grace, everything's so like we're on the uptrend right now, but we know that it's not gonna always be like that, and it's okay. Even on the sad days, I still say thank you, and even on a day my wife don't talk to me sometimes, I still remember it's okay. Be grateful.
because if I expect if I expect kindness all the time and somebody is an a-hole, then I get this equanimity. I get really miserable. So again, I'm just grateful to be around committed practitioners. I'm grateful we're meeting practitioners who are focused online, and I'm grateful that all of this we're not charging money. Oh God, that's another, like, we're doing this from unconditional love. Like, you're here, like, we're all here because love united us, or else we wouldn't be this passionate about what we're doing. And there's no link in the bio. So again, final words to our brothers and sisters. Let's start with Brother Charles. Final words from your heart.
I think that we can really do anything we set our mind to. There's so much information out there, the internet, ChatGPT. You can literally accomplish anything. You can do anything.
Alexa, buy my grocery. Sister Queen Richardson.
Just find what brings you happiness and joy, and don't give up discovering new things that bring you joy either. Like, never give up on yourself, even though life might get kind of monotonous sometimes, or busy with work or family. Remember to find the happiness in little things as well. Like on your drive to work, allowing somebody to just cut in front of you, like the small little gestures, and finding the small little happy things in life on a daily basis, and having gratitude, and the simple gestures of just being kind to others and being a good person can make the world of a difference to other people.
And go to the Gangnam Spa.
I haven't been.
You didn't go this week?
No.
You said you were
She
gonna.
I've been good.
You said you were gonna.
No.
She loves going to the bathhouse.
I haven't been in like 3 months.
Really?
Yeah. I've been good.
Well, we'll see if you return. How about Brother Sean? Final words from your heart.
Be happy. Be playful. Don't take life so seriously. Especially if you're feeling down and sad about something. Like, this too will pass. Like, don't just go with it. Be happy.
You let your daughters paint your nails.
Yeah, I just had her do it like
10
minutes before I left the house.
What color are they?
Pink this time, I think.
Aw,
Pink
the
with-
sparkles.
Pink with gold dots.
Metallic.
Yes. I actually very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's there. It's cool. I think it's creative.
And it's
but
quality
I
time.
just like doing it with her. Like, I
Yeah.
love that she does it for me, because it's fun. Because every single time we pretend I'm going to the salon, I have to call her on Jill's phone. I set an appointment. She gets everything ready, and then I come pretend like, "Hello, salon lady. I'm here for my appointment."
That's amazing.
That's so cute.
You,
That's what I
Go
really
all
like.
out,
That's
yeah.
what I really like about it. But
you pay her at the end too?
sometimes, not all the time. I pair it with love.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't worry, the tooth fairy will come.
Yeah,
Wait, Cosmic, I have a question for you. I want to adopt a puppy. However, I don't have my life in place all over. And should I bring someone into family? Hell no. How can you love that dog if you don't even have time to love yourself?
Dogs are a lot of work.
incredible.
Now, here's the thing. Again, because if you adopt that dog and you're not ready, and that dog passes away, you feel like crap. If that dog is sad, that's your fault now. But right, if you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of puppy? And imagine a child. Okay. And thank you everybody for your presence. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all the blessings. Where can they find you? If you can, sometimes you're on Insight Timer? Not recently.
Yeah, I'm on Insight Timer once a week.
Emily Richardson.
Emily Richardson. I'm on TikTok too. I think I would eventually like to live stream on TikTok, but I need to, create more videos and put more out there, because I think I only have like 2 videos on there right now.
And brother Sean also live streams on Insight Timer once.
Twice a week. I didn't this week.
Yeah, because of the flow change.
The flow is very different right now. But I do try to. Yeah, twice a week.
And how about brother Sharos? Any social media for you? No.
It's Instagram.
Instagram, which is
Charles_Hackerman.
so if you like the nerdy style spiritual,
Neo.
boom, he's gonna help you exit the matrix.
Boom.
Boom. And so thank you for your presence. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for asking the questions, and thank you for staying on the path, because you would not be here listening to us if you didn't give a crap about what you're hearing. So I hope you have a wonderful night. I love your damn self. Thank you, everybody.
Meow.
Good night.
Da-na-na-na-na.
It's a time. Look at his ears.
Oh, yeah.
Da-na.